What up, Nifs? This is Austin Short. I'm here with Josh, and we are previewing the running back position for fantasy football this year, 2017. Fantasy football season is finally upon us. Drafts are coming up, and today we are going to talk to you about a few different topics. You want to give them some of the topics that we're covering today?
Yeah, so we're going to go over the top dog, a battle between David Johnson and Le'Veon. Top rookie. Not
Duke Johnson. He's not the top
Sneak
dog.
preview. We're going to be talking about Duke Johnson.
Yeah.
Top rookie, who we like in PPR, a running back committee to avoid, top handcuffs, and a comeback running back.
So without further ado, let's get into our running back preview. Hit the music.
Austin and Kent, the boys are back again. Not like those kids on your television set. The long show above the rest, 'cause it's time. Yeah! It's not your father's show! Woo! It's not your father's show! Yeah! It's not your father's show!
Without further ado, let's jump right into it. Austin, Le'Veon Bell or David Johnson, who's your top dog?
My top dog is a Spartan dog.
Oh, go figure.
Le'Veon Bell, my boy. I think Le'Veon Bell is in a better offense with Pittsburgh than Arizona's offense. He's going to get more opportunities. And last year, on a points per game basis, he did outscore David Johnson. I know he was suspended, and sometimes he also gets hurt. But I think this is the year that Le'Veon Bell plays a full season and proves that he is the best running back in the NFL.
Strong case. But I'm going to say David Johnson. The dude was a freak last year. If you drafted David Johnson, you had a good chance of winning your league.
I didn't need him.
It's because you played horrible fantasy players. Like,
That's true.
Oh, I was in both of those leagues. Scratch that. Austin's a great fantasy player. That's why you're taking his advice today.
Yep, and that's why we're experts.
Regardless, David Johnson's expected to get over 30 touches a game, something you couldn't say about Le'Veon. They just have way too many targets out there. You know, David Johnson, he is the top dog in Arizona. There was Larry Fitzgerald, his time's over. Other than that, they've got John Brown. There's John Brown, and then there's Jerron.
Yeah, and they have J.J. Nelson.
A bunch of speed freaks.
But I gotta agree with you, David Johnson is going to be the biggest beneficiary
He is.
in Arizona.
And he's just so explosive. He can take anything to the house, and he's a pass catcher too.
At the end of the day, these options are just 1A and 1B. You really can't go wrong with either. I think Bell is a little bit riskier, but I truly do think that he has a little bit more upside.
Very fair. What do we got next?
Alright, so our next topic, we're going to preview the rookie class of running backs this season. We got a lot of good options.
Pretty stacked.
Leonard Fournette, Dalvin Cook, Christian McCaffrey,
Joe Mixon.
There's a bunch of other ones that are looking to supplant guys that are
Maybe a little under the radar.
already in the first team. But Josh, who do you think is going to be the top rookie running back this season?
You know, after giving it some thought, I'm like, Leonard's the easy choice here, but in that Jags offense, I'm not feeling it. I'm going with Dalvin Cook. Dalvin was unbelievable at Florida State. He was very consistent and just a pure running back. He's entering a team that wants to control the ball in the Vikings, and I think he's at the top of the depth chart. His only biggest competition was Latavius Murray, and he's been injured all offseason and hasn't been getting any looks. So I'm going Dalvin Cook as is my top rookie.
I like it. I foresee a lot of swing passes from Sam Bradford. A lot of check downs going Dalvin Cook's way. No doubt. So that's a good call. My top rookie is Christian McCaffrey, the son of 3-time Super Bowl champion Ed McCaffrey.
Brother to his future Heisman.
Probably not. Michigan player, right? Michigan commit. Yeah, big Michigan guy.
3-9, huh?
3-9, huh? Alright. But here's some reasons I like the McCaffrey kid, alright? McCaffrey is a guy that is going to be playing alongside Jonathan Stewart. In the last 5 years, how many times has Jonathan Stewart played 16 games?
Once? Big fat 0?
0.
Wow.
Has not done it in 5 years. So I think you're going to see a lot of Christian McCaffrey sooner rather than later. He's going to be a very big asset coming out of the backfield and catching passes. Eventually, I think Christian McCaffrey will take on that larger role as the lead running back. But until he supplants Jonathan Stewart, you are going to have to put up with that, or until Stewart gets hurt, most likely.
This is one of those running backs where early he's not going to get a whole lot of running touches, but he is a hell of a third down back and will get it if you're in PPR.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think those touches are just going to go up and up as the year goes on. So just stay patient with McCaffrey. But I think that he's a very, very talented running back, and he's going to make an impact early on.
Speaking of PPR.
Segue.
Yeah, you like that?
I did.
Now it's ruined from you saying that. But
right.
So who you got for PPR?
All right, so for my PPR monster, I am going with a man that plays in the offense that for the last 2 seasons has led the league in passing attempts. Do you know which offense that is, Josh?
I do.
Yeah, it's because I told you.
It's because you told me.
The Baltimore Ravens are that offense, and my PPR monster is Danny Woodhead. And just look at the guys around him in that running back committee. You got West, Allen, and Dixon. Dixon is suspended. West and Allen have yet to really stick as that main guy. So I think Danny Woodhead, he's going to get a ton of opportunities in the passing game, and he's also going to have a chance to steal some rushes from some of those guys. So Woodhead should be a monster bargain if he can play most of the year. He's going to be a gold mine for you.
As long as he stays healthy.
Yeah, that is the big contingency with him, and there's a lot of guys like that.
Right.
But I think that,
especially with the running back position.
Yeah, but I think in a PPR league, Woodhead is worth the risk, no doubt.
So for my PPR, I got a guy who plays for a team that's going to be awful. That is Pow.
Pow! 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 Pow!
I think we just came up with a nickname for him.
Yeah, he's Pow!
So, Powell plays for the Jets.
Bilal Powell. That's who we're talking about. If you couldn't tell from all of that.
They should know.
Yeah, you should.
The Jets have very few weapons on offense.
It's true.
You know, they lost Eric Decker this season. They lost Brandon Marshall. They, people were really high on Quincy Powell. And then he's out for the year.
Oh. Just when the Jets thought they had nice things, we take them away.
Yeah. And their leading running back, Matt Forte, is at least 40 by now.
He's pretty old.
He's aging.
He's seen better days.
I think Powell is a great PPR choice. He's a really good pass catcher, and it's going to be for a team that's going to be passing a lot, especially, when they're down by 3 scores in the second quarter.
I think that's
third, fourth quarter.
Could be first.
Could be first.
I think Powell's a great choice. I mean, you nailed it right on the head with the Forte not usually playing all of the games in a year. Powell played all of the games last year, and he's just a younger guy, a little bit more spry than Forte, so I think he's the running back of the future for them, for sure.
I think he could definitely fit into that primary role.
Next topic. we have the running back committee you most want to avoid. There's a lot of them out there, committees that is. We have Bengals, Lions, you have the Saints, Patriots.
You know,
which one are you thinking?
I'm going with Seattle.
Ooh, yeah.
They have a little three-headed monster right now in Eddie Lacy, Thomas Rawls, and CJ Procise. We saw a little bit of Procise last year. He had some good games late in the season until he got injured himself. Thomas Rawls started out the year a little banged up, played a little bit mid-season, then got a little more banged up. And then we all know Fat Boy Lacy, who has met his check-in in weight, so he's got something going for him. The really interesting part there is on the Seattle's website is that Rawls is listed as first team, and he's going as the third highest Seattle running back.
It's interesting.
Just to give you an idea of how screwed up this situation is for us fantasy owners. This is a team I want to avoid for running backs.
I think down the line I like Lacy, and I think Procise could be good in PPR, but to me Rawls is the guy that I just don't know if he can ever reach that level that he had early on in his career. But fire up Chips though.
Fire up Chips,
But yeah, avoid him.
Not high on him this year.
Josh says avoid all of those guys. I'm a little bit more lenient on some of them, but my running back committee to avoid is one that I am all too familiar with, and that is the Detroit Lions. What? Yeah, not feeling it.
You don't know who to pick?
Well, I know who to pick, but I just don't want any of them. But seriously, I mean, Abdullah, 2 years, hasn't played very many games, a handful.
He's looked good in the games he's played, but it's a health concern.
He's also a guy that has had turnover issues in the past. So right there, injuries, turnovers, no thanks. Now Theo Riddick, I think Theo Riddick is an exceptional third down running back. I think he's a great pass catcher, but I just don't know if he can duplicate his receiving touchdowns. He had 5 last year. It's kind of a lot for a running back.
All in the red zone.
Yep. So I don't know if he's going to get those targets, even though Anquan Bolden, who caught a ton of touchdowns in the red zone, is gone. But I think that those could go to, some more go to Ebron or Tate, maybe Galladay, Jones, rather than Riddick this season. Also, Riddick hasn't exactly been a model of durability either. He still hasn't played in the preseason, even though we're only 1 week in, but I'm avoiding the Lions backfield at all costs. I think if both those two guys do go down though, Zach Zenner.
Let's go Zach Zenner.
Could be a pretty good play.
I love Zach Zenner.
Yeah. I'm not like a fan of his as a Lions fan, but
push comes to shove.
He churns out yardage. Yeah. He falls forward. So
what you asked for in a running back.
Yeah, so we'll see. It'll be interesting to see if he gets goal line looks, if both those guys are healthy and active.
Zach Zenner, a great handcuff to Theo and Abdullah. Austin, who's your top handcuff?
Well, my top handcuff this season is going to be a guy that played in a really strong rushing offense last year in Tennessee. I'm going with Derrick Henry. If I select DeMarco Murray, you gotta have Derrick Henry. Basically, DeMarco Murray has had an injury past. He is running behind a really strong offensive line, and if you see Murray go down and don't have Henry, you're gonna be kicking yourself. So I'll definitely scoop both of those guys up if you have the opportunity to.
I totally agree with you. If you wouldn't have had chosen Derrick Henry, he was going to be right on my list.
We thought of it at like the same exact time.
Yeah.
We were both like,
Derrick Henry!
And then we kind of high-fived and we made nachos and did like,
parkour,
taekwondo in the garage and stuff like that. But who's Who's your handcuff, Josh?
Well, no.
Because you couldn't use Henry.
Because I couldn't use Henry. I'm going with Duke Johnson Jr. Isaiah Crowell is really high on people's draft boards. People are thinking he's going to be really good. Cleveland has a pretty solid offensive line, actually. I would argue it's the strength of their team.
Definitely.
If there was one. But, you
that,
know, it's
that
okay.
And losing.
Yeah, you know, when you get Cleveland, you don't really know who their quarterback's going to be. They're not going to have a great passing attack. They're going to want to drag games on, kind of like with the Vikings and Dalvin. They want to control the rock. And I think Isaiah Crowell is either going to get beat up or it's just going to get output in talent-wise with Duke Johnson. The third-year running back out of Miami is a lot more explosive, a lot really shifty. I think he could either take over the load because of injury or just because he's more talented than Crowell.
Very interesting. I think I really like Crowell this year.
I do too.
But
he's gonna get hurt.
You gotta get them both.
Well, and you know, David Johnson's a really good pass catcher too.
And Duke Johnson. He's good too.
This is great because in the earlier cut, I said Duke Johnson is my top dog, which would be very bold. Would not suggest.
So our final topic is comeback player. And, you know, there's a few guys that come to mind right away. Marshawn Lynch, Adrian Peterson, Todd Gurley is obviously
definitely
a very strong candidate. Josh, who do you have as your comeback player?
You know, I saw those, you know, higher up players everyone's saying. I'm going a completely different direction.
Okay.
Those are guys you're going to have to take in either the first, maybe second or third round. I'm going with a player you can get in a later round, maybe 8 or 9, in Jamal Charles. I know, he's played like 4 games in the last 3 years. But he's going to an offense that, again, doesn't have a great quarterback. He's going to be a dink and dunk guy that's going to be really good in PPR situations. He's probably the most talented running back on that Denver team. I think Jamal Charles is worth a late round flyer that could have a pretty good upside and, you know, minimal.
It's a low risk play.
It's a low risk play.
If you're getting him that deep in your draft.
Right.
I agree. I think that's not somebody that came to my mind right away, but your explanation, spot on.
Yeah, it only took like 4 takes.
So my comeback player of the year is going to be Adrian Peterson.
All day.
Adrian Peterson is with the Saints now, and the Saints have scored 49 rushing touchdowns in the last 3 years. That's good for 4th in the NFL.
That's so surprising.
It is surprising, but the Saints, I'll tell you what the Saints do. They score, and they score a lot. They get the ball close, and then they're not afraid to hand it off to their running back, you know, when they
Mark
get close.
Ingram, you know, Tim Hightower was a son of a gun last year in stealing touchdowns.
Yeah, and Mark Ingram is just not the greatest goal line back, or at least he hasn't proven himself to be yet.
Proved himself to be a great back in general. That's why they're bringing in AP.
Right. And in seasons where Adrian Peterson has played at least 12 games, he scored double-digit touchdowns each time.
If.
There's a math.
You know, we say this with about every single guy. Injuries are so important.
That's the position.
That's
running
the
back.
position.
You got to get lucky with your running backs.
You do.
But at the same time, you can't just, you know, you can't go with a bunch of safe plays. You have to roll the dice a little to. You got to risk it to get the biscuit.
Right.
Biscuits and gravy.
The Jawbreakers, eh?
Jawbreakers! Are you weak in the upper story, Ed boy? Chicken! Chicken! Chicken!
What are we gonna do with this?
Oh, that's going in for
Okay,
sure,
perfect.
dude. Alright, well, that's our running back preview. We gave you the goods.
Yeah. The butter.
The gravy.
The gravy. And some biscuits.
Yeah. Alrighty, Nifs. If you've made it this far, I appreciate you. Take care.
It's great being on the show, Austin.
Oh yes, thank you, Josh, for coming along, giving your insight. This is a guy that knows what he's talking about.
I've got at least third in every single fantasy league I've ever been in.
He's like the Michigan of fantasy football.
All right, that's fine.